Welcome, everyone, back to episode 17 of the Fourth and Long podcast. I am, of course, your host, Ross Allen, and today I am joined once again by the Bald Beast. Maybe put that in asterisks or quotations, one of the two, because I guess he's not totally bald, but he still looks stupid. The Bald Beast, Jalen Johnson. What's going on today, dude?
Hey guys, I want you to listen to something real quick.
What the fuck?
We are live and in person.
Dickhead just slapped me.
I told you we'd have something special for you guys in the end of the year.
That's what, you just hitting me?
I mean, I could have thought of a better way to do this, but it was...
Well, if that's proof to anyone, for the first time since the debut episode of the show, me and Jalen are in the same room, and he abuses me.
Yeah, that's exactly how this relationship
Just like a really nice uncle, he abuses the fuck out of you.
Yep. So just so you guys know, we do not promote abuse on this channel. I'm playing.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Oh, legally we don't.
Legally, we don't. And when it comes down to when we have sponsors or something, we don't want this to re-pop up. You know, when
Now, I'm definitely not winking.
Yeah.
No winks.
Like one day when we're, hosting the ESPYs, we don't want this to come back and hurt us, and we have to apologize.
The ESPN can all fuck themselves.
Unless you want
to hire me.
Yeah,
then you're good.
That's totally. Give us a segment, the Fourth and Long segment on ESPN.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Then I'll take it. Then if you want to hire me, disregard anything you've heard over the last year.
I definitely love to argue with Stephen A. Smith.
I would definitely love to beat the shit out of Skip Bayless.
Both offers are on the table. Your move, ESPN.
All right. So we're going to start this thing off. The past few weeks, we've been doing the things we like. And last week, during the Things We Like segment, I talked about fantasy football. But this week, we're doing things we hate. And what I hate this week is fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
I think we both have the same sentiment to that right now, don't we?
Yeah, it turns on you like an evil ex-girlfriend.
Turns on you like Tom Brady does when his son walks away without kissing him.
Oh, yep, that's a good one. Turns on you like OJ did after he murdered his wife.
Oh. Damn.
Allegedly.
The glove did not fit.
You cannot acquit.
But man, fantasy football, like I was feeling so good going to the championship round last week, or this previous weekend. But then, the second best team in the league, the guy I was going against had the best team in the league, so it was 1 against 2. The second last week of the regular season, I beat him by like 10 points. It was a good game. But when we get to the championship, my team decides to shit the bed and I get blown out by 50.
Yeah, that hurts. For me, in one of my leagues, I ended up not making playoffs. Just it came down to injuries and bad draft for me this year. And then another one of my leagues, I barely made. This one of the ones I talked about before with the waiver wire limit that they had.
Yeah, that bullshit limit.
Yeah,
Your commissioner's a moron.
Yeah, I ended up making the playoffs. By the last game, I won, and the 3 people ahead of me lost. And so I took the last seed in playoffs, but everyone in my team, unfortunately, also got hurt last week. And so going into it, I ended up getting destroyed by the number 1 seed because I had no roster to play with.
Ain't that the bitch?
Yeah, they sold all out for me in that last week to get me into the playoffs. So, I love them for it, but probably won't draft most of them again.
Yeah, fuck them. I have no loyalty when it comes to fantasy football. Except for Drew Brees, because I've had Drew Brees 2 years in a row now, and he has not done me wrong.
I'll probably draft Drew Brees when he's retired, and he'll still make more points than most of the NFL.
The GOAT. Like we said last week, you guys should really check that one out if you haven't. But Drew Brees, number 2 quarterback of all time.
Number 2.
Yep. Go check that out, because I'm sure that's a hot fucking take right there.
And you'll
want to listen who's didn't even make the top 3.
Oh, yeah, that one's a big one. But also, it's important because, as we always say on the show, it's the only list that matters. And the only opinion that matters is ours.
Yep. Damn right. Mostly mine, though.
Mostly his.
Thank you. You acknowledge that. But let's roll right on into the NFL Week 16 recap. We're going to, of course, do this by starting off with our top 5. Not really our top 5, more my top 5. And Jalen gets to agree with me because I am correct. Like we just mentioned. Jalen. Finally learning. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I got you.
I appreciate that. But we're starting off number 5. They did drop. I was really considering, honestly, not even having them in the top 5. but the Seahawks just barely make it into the top 5 power rankings after Week 16. They had that embarrassing loss
Embarrassing.
to the Arizona Cardinals,
My Arizona Cardinals.
who are not that good
Not at all.
and should not be winning in Seattle with a backup quarterback in Brett Hundley.
But if we look at it in the past history, Arizona always wins in Seattle, and Seattle always wins in Arizona.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
But Seattle should also not be giving up passing yards and rushing yards to Brett Hundley or an 83-yard touchdown to Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And then he robbed a bank.
Yeah, so that guy is going to ask for a big-ass contract, and the Cardinals aren't going to be able to re-sign them.
Huh? Yeah. But they just might. We'll wait and see.
We'll see. Number 4, we have the Chiefs after blowing out the Bears on Thursday Night Football, which was just a embarrassment.
Embarrassment.
Yeah, get it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself a round of applause for that because, as you all know, I'm the fucking best.
Embarrassment.
Ah,
Pun intended.
shut up. Maybe we're killing too much. But, Patrick Mahomes is back to his usual self. The offense is back to usual. And that defense, even though it was a Mr. Trubisky ran offense, anytime you give up 3 points to any team, that's still pretty damn good. So
Hashtag Bears need Newton.
Yeah. I was already saying that anyway. I was thinking.
Yeah. Because Jameis is already going back to the Bucks. They already announced that.
It's stupid. If he throws for like 540 yards this weekend, he'll break Peyton Manning's single season passing yards record.
But he's also going to break the record for most interceptions in a single season.
I don't understand him.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston is an enigma.
He's the best and worst throwing quarterback.
I don't fucking get it. But moving on, number 3, we had the San Francisco 49ers after a pretty big win against the Rams. The Rams are, if they were in the NFC West, they'd probably be a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a tough-ass division play, and they're not going to win it. If they were in the NFC East, division champs, easy.
Definitely.
But that was a real game. Came down to a game-winning field goal, and the Niners still looking good. They put up 33 points, so their offense is still clicking. That defense was a little worrying against the Rams, giving up 31 points. They've had a couple bad outings against Rams and against the Saints now, but I still think they might be able to win some games in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a close race. In the playoffs, I think the ending playoff race is more interesting in the AFC, but that's also kind of embarrassing at this moment.
Yeah, right. But the number 2 or one of the top seeds is going to come down to the game just got flexed to Sunday Night Football, so we will be seeing the Niners at the Seattle Seahawks for the NFC West crown, and likely the number 2 seed in the playoffs.
Possibly the number 1, but most likely the number 2.
Yep. So that's a big time implications in that game. Everyone has to tune into that if you want to call yourself a football fan.
Well, I think it's going to kind of look bad for the Seahawks because Seahawks are down about 3 running backs. They're down C.J. Prosise, they're down Rashad Penny, and they are also now down last one. I just forgot his name.
You're good. We'll discuss that one in a second.
Yes.
Moving on to the number 2 team, the best team in the NFC is the New Orleans Saints. I believe they're going to end up with the 1 seed, and they're going to the playoffs are going to run through them. That has the 1 seed has already been determined in the AFC. We'll get to that team in a sec because they're obviously our number 1 spot. But the Saints, Drew Brees is cooking, Alvin Kamara is cooking. Then Michael Thomas arguably having the best season that a wide receiver has ever had.
Yeah, it's 144 receptions now.
Yeah,
and that's crazy.
It's historical the season he's having, and not enough people are noticing it.
Some receivers don't even have 144 receptions in a season.
Some teams don't have. Yeah, I mean like the
144,
Broncos, Raiders, and
targets.
a couple of other teams don't even have 144 receptions as a team.
Yeah, I meant 144 targets. Some receivers don't have 144 targets.
Well, targets and receptions, damn near the same thing for Michael Thomas because he does not drop much.
Not at all. He's
and Drew Brees doesn't miss much.
Michael Thomas is definitely the Larry Fitzgerald of this generation.
Ooh, he's better.
No,
ooh,
not at all.
Ooh. All right, moving on to number 1, we have the team that everyone knows and expects. Because they're the best team in the league, and there's no argument against them. Baltimore Ravens. What do you say against them?
Lamar's long heel bone allows them to win more games.
Oh, are you that one the commentator for the 49ers?
Yeah, I'm going out for the job, so
on.
thought I'd start early.
You gotta have just a touch of racism.
Just a touch, just a little pinch of salt. You know,
See,
like
he went a little too far. But if you had just he had like a couple pinches of racism. But if you have just a touch, just a gentle dab of racism.
yep, because being black is cheating in football.
Well, yeah, long kill bone. We just discussed that, dude.
Long tailbone, you can hide
Better
the ball in your
genetics.
skin.
It's unreal.
I don't know if you know this, but having dark pigment allows you to morph with the ball and hide it, pulling off the greatest fumble rootski of all time.
Yeah, and like how in baseball, if you're a white pitcher, the ball just blends into your hand.
That's facts.
But Baltimore Ravens are white hot going to the playoffs. They're presumably going to be
Or
resting
are they
Lamar
black
Jackson.
hot? I told you I'm going for this job.
Shut the fuck up, Jalen.
You guys can contact me on any of my socials. I'm looking for commentator jobs.
Hey, Jalen, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
All right.
But they're going to be resting their stars. What it looks like Lamar Jackson out, Mark Ingram out, and probably going to get RG3 starting at quarterback. So hopefully that goes well.
I
for him
think this
because
is
I
gonna
still
be-
like him as a person.
I definitely think RG3 is going to be pretty much auditioning to either continuously being Lamar's backup or he's going to be to go into free agency for
But
somebody
about
else.
that game, the Ravens are going to be playing the Steelers, and the Steelers, this is a must-win for them because if they can't play against depleted, they can't win against a depleted offense, and they can't win that game, they're missing playoffs. So it's big time for them.
Yeah, and we just posted about Mike Tomlin comments on that. He would never tank for anything. He
That's
plays
why
to
Mike
win.
Tomlin is probably coach of the year in my opinion.
Definitely.
If they don't make the playoffs, maybe not. But if they do,
I think Jim
he's coach of-
Harbaugh's still my coach of the year.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
between
definitely
those
think,
two.
I
Between
think
those
he's
two.
one of the top coaches of all time. Not the top coach of all time. Just wait for that later on.
we'll get to that. We will get to that. He might crack top 5. He's definitely in the top 10.
Definitely a top 10 coach of all time.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. Just a couple first out. I have the Patriots at number 6, and then I have the Packers at number 7. To recap, top 5-1: Seahawks, Chiefs, Niners, Saints, and the Baltimore Ravens, who did clinch the number 1 seed throughout the playoffs. Moving on into the headlines, some headlines now. As Jalen was talking about, with the Seattle running back issue, there is a couple big times return in the league.
Yeah.
The biggest one being that Beast Mode is back in Seattle, and the rest of the league should be worried.
And he is still not too big on words at the moment.
We had a press conference that lasted 12 seconds.
About 12 seconds. It was pretty
He
much a
said,
record.
"Merry Christmas, y'all," or no, he said Happy Christmas, Merry Holidays, or Merry. He said Merry New Year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Then he said, "It's good to be back," and then left.
Yep. And
I
in the
think that
most
was a
beast
long-
mode way possible.
That might have been a long press conference for him.
That was the most he's talked at a press conference in a long time. So that was definitely. And the running back I forgot his name earlier is Chris Carson. Chris Carson went out with the hip injury against Arizona.
So they Seahawks signed Turbin, they signed Lynch, and so what's going to happen now? My prediction: Seahawks going to make the playoffs. They're going to have a play that comes down to a goal line stand. They're going to be on the 2-yard line, and they're going to give the ball to Marshawn.
I
Then
say they throw
Marshawn's
it.
going to fumble and prove everyone right.
That'd be crazy.
And that'd be ironic.
Or Marshawn scores the touchdown and retires right there on the field.
Or they throw a touchdown pass to Marshawn Lynch.
Or they throw an interception.
Or what's most likely, they don't get past the wild card.
Or they don't make playoffs. I'm kidding. They already clinched it. Yeah, I was kidding.
Thank you. I'm not sure. I think he's going to do a great job filling in. He's definitely not going to be the Marshawn Lynch of past. His last season in Oakland did not go well, or as well as everyone thought he would. And so I think he's going to be a good filler. He's going to be a good filler piece, but I don't expect to see that Marshawn Lynch that was against the Saints, that played against the Saints a number of years back.
Marshawn Lynch will rush for 100 yards in week 17.
I'd say he's around 80. With the tug, though. With the tug.
With the tug? Okay.
With the tug. Another big-time return. For the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt is back at practice this week after tearing his pectoral muscle in Week 8. this is big time news for them. I'm really happy to see it because the Texans still have a chance to make a run in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I want J.J. Watt to win something because everyone knows he deserves it.
Definitely.
Walter Payton Man of the Year every year.
Every year.
He's also just really damn good. He's going to help that defense greatly because anytime J.J. Watt's on the field, there are going to be plays to be made.
And men will be destroyed.
And noses will be bloodied.
And boys will cry.
And hurricanes will tremble.
No. Oh, yes. Yes.
And if you see in the commercial, rivers will be cleaned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Plastic will be destroyed.
J.J. Watt hates global warming.
And global warming goes away because J.J. Watt says so.
Yeah, just put that out there. Yeah, fuck global warming. I know that's a really big hot take going around right now, but global warming
doesn't exist.
is bad.
It's really bad.
It's bad.
Really bad.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Don't litter.
Fucker.
Save the earth.
Fuck the earth.
And the turtles.
Fuck Boston.
Hell yeah.
Fuck Boston. Yeah, there we go. Now we can fist bump in person. Fuck yeah. This is great. Instead of just punching the computer camera or whatever.
Yeah, I've gone through 3 laptops.
Don't kid yourself. You're not that strong.
He's right.
Those are our headlines. That is our NFL Week 16 recap. Now to move on into the meat and potatoes of the show. Last week, we of course...
And if you're vegan, the leaves and the kale.
No, if you're vegan, fuck off.
Unless you follow us, then we love you.
No, we don't love you. We just deal with you. No, not even... Nope.
I appreciate you.
I grit my teeth and deal with you.
I appreciate you.
Fuck you, Jalen. Vegan empathizer?
Yeah.
No. Maybe that's why you're so scrawny.
It might be the cancer.
No, definitely not the cancer.
Yeah, it might
Cancer doesn't do that to you.
Not at all.
If anything, cancer strengthens you.
It strengthens the mind.
It's all cancer is a mindset. Just like AB, he's a cancer.
Let's move on.
But last week we talked about we gave our top 3 for every offensive position
of all time.
And then we said this week we're moving on to defense and special teams. Also, the best head coach of all time. We're going to get this started with the linebacker position. Jalen, give me your number 3. Actually, we agree with our number 3. No, we agree with our
entire linebacker
we
list.
disagree with linebackers, don't we?
Yeah, because...
Yeah, start with number 3, Junior Seau.
Yeah.
R.I.P. First off.
R.I.P.
Fuck CTE.
CTE is...
Hot take. Fuck CTE.
CTE can kiss my ass. Please don't, because that means it's probably in my body, and I don't want that.
And we play football. We probably have CTE.
Most likely. 10 years of football.
Fuck yeah.
Do some damage.
It just keeps the brain warm. But Junior Seau, he's making plays on and off the field for... Probably should not have said that.
Mm-mm.
We have a couple linebackers in here that were killers both on and off the field. Junior Seau, a lot of play with the Chargers.
You could probably tell who our number 1 linebacker is now.
You want to take this in 1 sec while I compose myself?
Junior Seau was a great person and player. Obviously, what he went through is tough for him and his family and friends.
Let's talk about on the field at least.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
He was an absolute beast on the field. He put fear in offensive players. It was not somebody you wanted to see across from you on Sundays.
Is an offensive lineman. If he blitzes on you, you are shooting your pants.
It's just not something you want to happen.
And for a running back, you see a hole open, but you see Junior Seau's big ass silhouette in that hole. You're going to shit your pants.
Yeah, it's people who play football are usually very fearless, but it takes a special player to put fear into the mind of other players.
And that's what all 3 of these guys did. Junior Seau put fear into the hearts and minds of anyone coming across the middle. Lawrence Taylor, our number 2 linebacker of all time, put fear into the hearts of every tackle in the country.
As you can say, he was a bone cruncher.
Yeah, he also railed coke and did shots of Hennessy before games.
Okay, let's take some on-field stuff.
Yeah, one of the best pass rushing moves of all time. That dude revolutionized the defensive end position. Not only did he revolutionize the linebacker position, he also revolutionized the left tackle position because people were trying to recruit left tackles just so they could block Lawrence Taylor.
Pretty much. It was, and it wasn't, obviously it wasn't on purpose. We all know Lawrence Taylor didn't do it on purpose, but he ended quarterback's career.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows that quarterback's name. Nobody special.
Trivia. Comment on the video. Comment on Twitter.
Just let us know if you know the name of the quarterback who Lawrence Taylor ended their career.
And if you give us the correct answer, you will get a giant prize of a over-the-internet fist bump.
And a shout out of your name onto our Twitter page and Instagram.
Oh, okay. That doesn't mean much, but yeah, it totally means a lot.
That means a lot. We're actually been blowing up a lot in the last couple of days.
Trying to get that 300K impressions, break the record.
We're trying to break our record for 300K impressions in a month. We're currently 20,000 off of it, but we usually get around a couple thousand a day. So we're trying to finish that off just to finish the year strong. I know it doesn't sound like much, but we are a small page, and every impression, like, comment, follow means a lot to us.
Just
so thank you.
Give us your impressions all over our page.
And our YouTube slowly growing.
Instagram.
Obviously, our YouTube's where we actually get to talk to you guys and answer you guys more with our voices and personality. And so you can follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter, and
like and
on
subscribe
our YouTube.
on the YouTube, baby. And now, without further ado, we're going to get to our number one spot in the linebacker position.
Number one.
Guy that got away with murder on and off the field, Ray Lewis.
We
have a couple guys from the Ravens, actually, because that Ravens defense was something else. But Ray Lewis was a force to be reckoned with. Also, a really great motivational speaker.
Yeah, he
gets it going. I will run through 5 brick walls in the morning just by listening to him.
Yeah, he's definitely a great motivational speaker. And in all seriousness, we do joke around a lot about some of the stuff that players and people have done off the field. But in all seriousness, we have looked up to a lot of these players for our entire lives, and I have looked up to Ray Lewis my entire life.
Ray Lewis is an animal. I love him as a person.
He's amazing. He did have that mishap that we.
Well, technically no.
Yeah, technically,
legally no. Legally
no.
Nothing happened. It's a whole bunch of redacted.
But yeah. So, but in
Ray
all
Lewis, man,
seriousness,
if you look up highlights of Ray Lewis, all you see is 20-minute YouTube videos of him taking heads off of people across the middle of the field.
Yeah, and just ending people.
No one went into the middle of the field because Ray Lewis was there. He made plays in the run game. He made plays in the pass game. He even got interceptions. He could rush the passer. That guy did everything, and he was, at the very least, he was one of the greatest team leaders of all time.
And in my opinion, he had one of the greatest farewell tours a player could ever have.
Yes, he did. Also, one of the best entrances to the field ever. Great dance.
And as we can say on this show, the GOAT.
Yep. Ray Lewis is the GOAT of linebackers.
Yep.
Undisputed. Moving on to defensive ends now. This is where our list changes a little bit. For defensive end, third best of all time, I went with Bruce Smith. And Jalen, you went with someone who I was actually pondering this a little bit. I think he's in my top 5, but not top 3. Who is it?
Jared Allen. I went with Jared Allen. He holds the record for second most sacks in a season, right behind my number 2. I will not mention that yet. But for sacks in a season, which I believe is 21.5, so he's not that far off from the record. But he was dominant wherever he went. I'm pretty sure he started his career off with the Chiefs and revitalized.
Oh, everyone knows him as a Minnesota Viking.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know he did start off with the Chiefs.
Then he finished up with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, he was amazing until his last day, and then he had one of the best farewell tweets of all time. He rode away on a horse. Like, who
into
does
the
that?
sunset?
Into the sunset.
Literally.
He rode off into the sunset. He didn't even win the Super Bowl, but he rode off into the sunset. He didn't get to go to Disneyland, but
Respect.
He went somewhere.
But he also had probably one of the best, one of the best celebrations of all time. The little hog tie.
Oh yeah, a hog tie. You know what I'm saying? Some people thought he was stirring the pot.
No.
It was a hog tie.
It was definitely a hog tie. He was a farm boy.
Yeah, it was a hog tie. I saw a lot of people around the time when he used to do that, say stir the bull, and
No.
He was
It's Ty the
talking.
Hog.
It's Ty the Hog.
Number 2 defensive end of all time, in my opinion, and factually, would be Deacon Jones, the beast that played for the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
This guy was vicious and a killer. You should have seen his highlights. His best pass rush move was the club and rip. Most time the club is done to the forearms or the body of the player. But Deacon Jones clubbed the head of the offensive tackles.
A swift club.
Yeah, so his move was he'll beat you in the head, disorient you, and then just kind of brush you by and go kick the shit out of your quarterback. This guy was a bad man. He was Lawrence Taylor levels of vicious.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you did not want to fucking cross him because he will fuck your shit up real quick.
Real quick.
Real quick.
Yes.
Your number 2 is the single season sack leader.
Yep, the gap beast.
Big beast on
and
Fox?
off the field. He's a gap beast on and off the field. Michael Strahan is my number 2. And let me just say this now before people get mad and stuff at our list. You can't tell us about it, you know what I'm saying? DM us. Just comment on one of our tweets or somebody on Instagram, comment section on YouTube. But our lists are usually, our top 5 are the same, just in different orders. So why I don't have Bruce Smith and Deacon Jones in my top 3, they're still in my top 5.
Hard. You guys gotta remember, it's really hard to put these positions down just at the top 3. They might be in the top 5, might be in top 10.
And it's like this is our top 3, but if we were to change it and say top 3 DNs for a different, like a certain aspect, some of this list would change drastically.
It's hard to make these choices. You guys gotta sit down and you make them because there's some really
Definitely.
good guys that get left
Leave
out.
your list on one of our tweets or in our comment section.
Go ahead.
Just leave us so we see if you agree with us or if you don't. But it depends on what you're talking about. And today it's
Michael Strahan, man.
Yeah.
He's a bad man pajama.
Yeah, definitely. Today is Michael Strahan. Tomorrow's it could be somebody else. But Michael Strahan today is my number 2, and he was destructive, absolutely destructive, and
Big time player for the New York team.
yeah, but got a Super Bowl ring.
Damn right, they deserved it. All thanks to Eli Manning.
All thanks to Eli Manning
Hall of Famer Eli Manning.
and those stretchy jerseys.
Oh yeah, they were real stretchy.
Yeah, they really
Nike ones are tight as fuck now.
Yeah, they're really.
Nike ones you can't breathe, especially for fat fuck like me trying to play lineman.
In my opinion, a lot of plays, some of the greatest plays of all time, would not have been made if they had the jerseys that we have now.
Ooh. That's a take.
That's a take.
That's for sure a take. But moving to the number 1 spot, me and Draylen agree on this bad man, and this is Reggie White, the beast from the Northeast. Nah, still Midwest technically.
Yeah.
Fuck. Big guy, the cheesehead, Reggie White, man. He was a bad man for that Packers team.
Yeah.
For years and years, and he was just really consistent. Every season was a great season, and that guy just fucked shit up on a daily.
Destructive. Absolutely destructive on the defensive side of the ball. He's a guy a lot of people model their games after today.
He can
And
stop the run, he can stop the pass. He shed blocks like nothing else.
mm-hmm.
And as an offensive lineman, you just had to hope when you're going
And in
against
my
him.
opinion, I think he is one of the players. I think if they played today in their prime, would still be great.
Still be great.
Like a lot of old school players.
Like right
if
now,
they
Ray
played-
Lewis in his prime, he's still one of the
Yeah.
top linebackers in the league.
I think a lot of older players, if you put them in the league now, a lot of them wouldn't be able to adjust to the rules.
I think Reggie White will still.
I think Reggie White would still be able to adjust.
That's
and
another
be
way you
dominant.
make the number 1 on my list is like I think how well can you perform in today's football because everyone's better now. Everyone's a great athlete. Everyone's amazing at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see if I think this is number 1 for the defensive tackles next. I think he could still play in the league.
Me too.
Me and Jalen agreed on all 3 of these guys. So the third one being Alan Page. Let's see. Alan was the big guy from. He's part of the Purple People Eaters,
Purple People Leaders.
and that was That is the best defensive line of all time.
Definitely.
They have not been surpassed. Alan Page, big man in the middle. He wasn't. He was a quick guy for his size, but he didn't rely on that. He was just powerful, and he'll rock your world.
Definitely.
Essentially.
He pretty much just destroyed people and made him not want to come back to work. You know, playing football is a job, and everybody has an office job and stuff like that, and you get irritated. There's that one guy at work that you don't like being around. He makes you not want to come to work.
And imagine being the offensive lineman in practice, having to go against him every day.
Every single day.
Like that.
I wonder if he was nice.
Our number one guy definitely was not nice.
Not at all.
Number two, all-time, John Randall, another Minnesota Vikings player. Him and Alan Page kind of had similar games, similar styles, but I think John Randall was just a little more effective than Alan Page was. But of course, like the difference in these top three players is very minimal.
Very, very minimal.
Very.
Like we say that he had a bigger impact, but it's
not by much.
It's not by much.
They're both amazing.
Both
John Randall, number two defensive tackle of all time.
9 years after Alan Page.
Number one, the best defensive tackle of all time, had one of the most iconic Super Bowl commercials of all time as well.
And one of the nicest nicknames.
Coke. Yes, the nicest nickname of Mean Joe Green. That is our number one defensive tackle of all time, both on and off the field. He wasn't a killer on and off the field. He was just a killer on the field. Great guy off the field.
Yeah.
Giving jerseys to little kids for giving them a Coke.
Jerseys.
Hey, that shit worth money.
Money.
That kid made bank off that. I guarantee
Or if that kid was smart, he would learn how to clone and make another Mean Joe Green and make an army of Mean Joe Greens.
Is that how you take over the world?
That's exactly how you take over the world.
Army of Mean Joe Greens.
Army of Mean Joe Greens.
Maybe
make a mean, nice Joe Green.
Mecha Mean Joe Green.
They form into an Autobot.
Mean Joe Green, it's hard. Man, he was just every play. It seemed like he was making a tackle in the backfield almost every damn play. You couldn't block him.
In a club.
You had to double team him to have a shot at blocking him.
And he would still club you.
Yeah. You don't mess with Mean Joe Green. Best defensive tackle of all time. Moving on to some more skill positions now. A cornerback. Jalen, maybe a hot take. It's your number three.
Yeah. This one, just in the moment of thinking about it, I think this was kind of like the start of like the term lockdown corner. Was Darrelle Revis Island. I think he did kind of fiddle off and sputter off at the end of his career, but I think
Everyone
his prime,
does that when they're on the Jets.
Yeah, it just happens. But I think at the beginning of his career, in the middle of his career, and definitely in his prime, he was definitely, if he would have continued at that pace, he would have been probably the number one corner of all time. But I think he did die off after a while, and that kind of ruined it. But I think he makes my top three just based off of the fact of, I think, of potential and what he started. Like a lot of corners are going to try to be like him in his prime.
All right. My number three was a guy that was great in college. Great for 20. Did he have almost 20 years in the NFL?
Yeah. As a defensive player.
Yeah. Charles Woodson, third best cornerback of all time. Played for a couple teams. Played for the Raiders. Went to the Packers. Probably best known as a Packer. But he did also
or a Raider. Yeah, I think he'd probably be best known as a Raider.
Well, it's because Raider fans are a bunch of loudmouth douchebags.
Unless you follow us.
Unless you follow us, and you're a great person. Shout out to Blake Campbell.
Yeah.
Fuck you, but shout out.
Our MMA resident expert.
Yep. Charles, he should be on the show soon once we have our end of the year wrap up for the UFC. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But Charles Woodson, that guy, he intercepted every quarterback in he has an interception off of every team, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
Damn near. The one that took him a while to get was Peyton Manning, but he did get that in his last season.
Yes, he did.
When that was in Oakland, that was Peyton Manning's second to last year, I think. No, it might have been Peyton Manning's last season as well. Whenever the Broncos won the Super Bowl, because they're the best.
Sure.
The Cardinals, shut the fuck up. Charles Woodson, was he the first two-way player to win the Heisman? Or at least he was one of the only two-way players to win the Heisman.
Yes.
That alone is amazing, even though that's just college. But that shows the kind of quality athlete Charles Woodson was. I think prime Charles Woodson still competes in this league.
And
maybe not as a cornerback, but at least as a safety.
In my opinion, he could have easily also made this list as a safety.
Yeah, he could have. big time, very versatile athlete is what he was. Number 2, what's
My number 2 was Charles Woodson.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that. So that's why we talked about Charles for so long.
Yep, number 2, Charles Woodson in Jalen's plane. My number 2 was also a defensive back with the last name of Woodson. But this guy, Rod Woodson, cornerback for the Steelers from the years 1987 to 2003. This guy was making plays all over the field. This guy was a ball hawk in his time. He was still in the era where you could play defense, and you could still hit the receiver, and you could still have a little bit of contact without getting flagged, which was a miracle. But he was a Steeler that made this list, and I really think I'm not. See, the thing is, I'm not sure if he could play as well as Charles Woodson can in the modern day. If he's in his prime, of course, definitely can't play now. But a prime Charles Woodson, I think, is better suited for the NFL in its current day. I don't think Rod Woodson is as suited for current day NFL play, but I still think that he is deserving of the number 2 spot all time. What's your thoughts, Jalen?
Definitely number 2 spot of all time. Just a great player all around, dominant on the field. Put fear into the heart and minds of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I would say quarterbacks most definitely. Probably wasn't the hardest hitter of all time. Definitely was a pretty good hitter though, tackler. So
yeah, but our number 1 guy, we agree on this. Probably one of the best all-around athletes of all time, because he played 2 sports. He didn't just play cornerback. He also was a return man.
Could have been our number 1 returner of all time.
He was damn near up there. But the number 1 cornerback of all time is prime time Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
That guy was so damn good for the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
He was a cheat code
Cowboys.
in the Madden's all-time team.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that was. Was that Madden 25 when he was
destructive.
That was impossible to play against. It was, you couldn't throw his way.
Not at all.
Deion Sanders was amazing. One of the only the only person to ever suit up for both a football game and a baseball game on the same day.
Same day.
He played in the football game, didn't play for the Braves in that game, but he did suit up.
Yeah, he did suit up.
That alone is a fucking miracle.
I think if he would have suited up, if you actually played, it would have been better.
Probably the biggest ball hawk of all time. This guy was making picks left and right, making pick sixes look easy, winning track rate. Winning sprints all the time. You couldn't catch him.
Not at all.
And he could read you read the receiver and the quarterback's eyes like a book.
And his alter ego, Leon Sandcastle, also holds the 40-yard dash record.
Fucking.
I don't know if anyone knows that.
Yeah, I do. Look it up, please. It's good.
Trivia: What draft did Leon Sandcastle break the record in?
But those are cornerbacks. You got Jalen said Darrelle Revis, Charles Woodson, Deion Sanders. I said Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, and Deion Sanders. Moving on into safeties now, a position that Charles Woodson could have made. We agree on our top, but Jalen, somewhat of a take on the third best. I think our safeties in general are we have a few takes on them.
Yes.
We definitely do not agree with the NFL or not even Bleacher Report or ESPN.
Not at all.
What's your third best cornerback or safety of all time?
For this one, I kind of went off of impact on the game entirely, and
not necessarily longevity, but at least when he played, he was impactful.
So my number 3 is Sean Taylor. I think if you look at today's NFL, you cannot look at a team and not find a safety that didn't make his game after Sean Taylor, or a player who played at the same time as Sean Taylor who would say they did not fear Sean Taylor. He had a big impact. He had a short career, and I feel like the fact that it's not like he retired or left football.
Johnson.
No, he
left more than just football.
Yeah, okay. But Sean Taylor did end up passing away during his career. People say before he even could have hit his prime. I believe he played a total of 6 years in the NFL, I believe it was. But while he was there, He made amazing plays. He showed no mercy, not even the Pro Bowl.
Kick it off. Decapitating punters.
Decapitated a punter in the Pro Bowl.
He wanted that bonus.
He wants that bonus. And it just showed that it was never an off play. He never took time off. It was always full go. And that's why he made offenses so afraid. It was you did not want to get hit by him. You didn't want to throw his way. And you just didn't want to be on the field against him in general.
No, you did not.
Which is why he was my number 3 based off of his
You can kind of say that about my number 3, to be honest.
You could.
With the greatest hair, some of the greatest commercials of all time.
Head and Shoulders.
Troy Polamalu.
We'll take that sponsorship also.
Oh, please. Fuck, we're both fucked.
Yeah, we both don't really have nice hair, but if you give us some Head and Shoulders, we might have nice hair.
Great hair.
Get you some Head and
Jalen might
Shoulders.
actually, Head and Shoulders will regrow Jalen's hair.
Fact.
Troy Polamalu, third best cornerback or safety of all time. This guy was devastating. He was making plays, really good with interceptions, big time returns. He might have been best on field goal block.
Oh yeah. He probably been a great
Or
field goal blocker.
He just times the snap count and jumps over the O line and tackles the quarterback before he can even hand the ball off.
He holds the record for fastest sack of all time.
It has to be. That play might not ever happen again.
Yeah, he legit just.
Troy
jumped over
Polamalu
the
was
line.
a master at timing the snap count.
But he did have a couple of fails, which are hilarious. You should also look those up.
Well, that's gonna happen, but for how often he got it right, that's damn amazing.
It's amazing, and he's probably one of the reasons that the looking back into the rule of what a catch is something. He had a couple of close interceptions that he barely got his fingertips under the tip of the ball and scraped it.
Should have been picked
from the ground. And no, a lot of them were picked. I think he has 3 of them like that, and definitely put a headache for reviewers.
No, you might be able to say that. My number 2 safety of all time is probably the most. I'd say he's the third biggest name to ever play for the Bay Area teams. Maybe behind Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, got Ronnie Lott. He's an icon.
Steve Young might be up there too.
I think Ronnie Lott over Steve Young.
Yeah, I think Steve Young might get it just because he's a quarterback.
But Ronnie Lott, I got to see him in person. Didn't get signed because that line was long as fuck to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to wait in that. But I got to see him. He is a legend. He was a guy that he was wearing gloves, so he didn't fall out on the field, but he got his finger smashed between a couple helmets, and his finger got cut off. It was just hanging in his glove, all loose in there.
Yep.
And he still played.
They gave him the option. He can get surgery and get it repaired, or he can just cut it all the way off. Man, we can all go with what he got. Yeah, he cut it off.
And still played.
Just so we could play.
Legend.
Legend.
He's number 2 just for that alone. Not even counting his amazing talent on the field.
Yeah, in my 100% opinion, if I had to lose a finger or sit out for a couple of games, I think I'd sit out for a couple of games.
You would?
Yeah.
But, to be fair, it wasn't his full finger. It was like half of it.
It was like the top tip.
Which is still brutal.
Just the tip.
That's okay. That's still brutal. But me, Jalen, you're number 2. Another guy who also he played for the Broncos. Had a little stint with them, finished up his career with them, but mostly famous for playing for the Eagles. And who was this?
And he's also another great motivational speaker, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
And I don't know if anyone ever knows this. He never cursed.
Oh.
At all on the field. He never cursed.
And who is this amazing guy?
This amazing guy is Brian Dawkins.
Dawkins.
My number 1, Weapon X. You know, he made the list as 2 people. You have to be a pretty special player to do that. I'm kidding. But my number 2 is Brian Dawkins, Weapon X, Wolverine, whatever you want to call him. He's ferocious and violent on the field, which is why I also think it's amazing that he does not curse. He's a Christian man and said he does not curse at all. He says a lot of like weird replacement words for curse words. But
I'm more impressed that he hasn't just had one slip, just like missed tackle. Fuck.
Yeah, like no interview.
even.
He's cursed, and that I know of. He's never cursed on the field. From they've interviewed
No
players.
one's
and
heard
asked.
anything.
No one's heard him curse.
I think
As far as
that's
I know.
that might give him number 2 for that on your list.
Yeah, that's
Because that's
definitely-
remarkable.
that I curse by accident all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We've cursed at least more times in this show than he's cursed in his entire life.
In just the first segment.
Yes. But he was dangerous. He crumpled people. And the funny part is he crumpled somebody named Crumpler.
Really?
Yeah, a receiver or tight end named Crumpler. I believe his name was Crumpler, but he played for the Falcons.
Poor fucker.
Yeah, he got crumpled. He got the ball still though, so
Oh, that's good. That's good.
clap for him.
But he got fucked up.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins was just a force on the field.
Number 1, the best safety of all time is someone that we agree on. And like we said before, the best linebacker of all time was Raven Ray Lewis. The best safety of all time is also a Raven, and that is the icon, the legendary, one of the newest Hall of Famers, Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
And oh my fuck, just that defense, that 2000s defense for the Ravens, with those two on the field, that had to be one of the best tandems in league history.
And also, a lot of people don't know this, but our number 1 corner was also on the team with Ed Reed at one point, and Ray Lewis. Deion Sanders also played for the Ravens at the same time as them.
Imagine if you had the prime Deion Sanders on that Ravens defense.
With a prime Ray Lewis and a prime Ed Reed.
What the fuck do you do? That's really all 3 skill positions covered right there.
Yeah. You can't throw the ball. You can't run the ball.
You're fucked,
essentially.
They'd be winning way more Super Bowls.
Yeah. And Ed Reed also broke his own record for longest interception return of all time. Which is kind of difficult to do, to break your own record. I'm pretty sure the record now is 106 yards.
Yeah.
But it was 103 originally. But I feel like he stepped a couple yards. I feel like he could have stepped a couple yards forward and caught the ball, but he decided to back up a
Purposely
couple.
backed up.
In my opinion, controversy. You know what I'm saying? I think Ed Reed backed up on purpose to
Hey,
get
that's
the
a
extra
cocky
yards.
son of a bitch right there. I respect it.
Because he's in the touchdown. I think he could have easily made the catch
easily.
closer. But I think he backed up on purpose.
Mad respect.
Mad
That's
respect.
that's just a power move
And
right
have
there.
that much faith in yourself to back up a couple more yards just to intercept the ball to run it back. But Ed Reed, if you want to come on your the show and defend yourself, to say that you didn't go
Let's
back,
clear up
those-
the controversy, Ed.
prove me wrong. I think you backed up on purpose for those yards. I think you knew exactly where you were on the field, and you took a couple steps back instead of just jumping up for that
He's
ball.
not going to come on the show. What's going to be? You're just going to be walking around that out of nowhere. You're just going to get speared
Yep.
out of your soul.
And he's going to tell me not to talk about it again. But you know what? Just for the fans, I'm going to still talk about it. I'll take that hit for you guys.
Oh, that's big time dedication.
Big time.
Cancer's not going to kill you, but Ed Reed sure will.
Yeah, probably.
Moving on into, so that's our defense right now. Now we're going to move into our specialist of all time. He's still playing. He might need to be take around back the shed, have a little muscle men action, look off into the sunset, and have a slug put in the back of his head and just be put down and have his misery. But Adam Vinatieri is the greatest kicker of all time. He's kind of having a rough year now. Probably needs to be put down like a dog or
Just retire.
or an old racehorse.
No,
you know?
or just retire.
No, he deserves something better than just retirement. Adam Vinatieri, but for he's the all-time NFL leading scorer. He has one of the most accurate legs of all time, and he won Super Bowls for Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
He's responsible for like at least 2 of them, I would say.
Yeah.
Tuck Rowell's responsible for another. But I think he's the greatest kicker of all time, and I think you agree with me, right?
Definitely. And Vinatieri has been one of the most consistent up until this point. He's a kicker, and it's like if you know a kicker's name, and you're not a kicker or punter, he was special.
Adam Vinatieri is the definition of for the brand.
Definitely.
He's clutch, not as clutch as arguably the second. I think the second best kicker of all time is still in NFL 2 for the Ravens. Justin Tucker. I think he's more accurate and he's a little more clutch. But I think Adam Vinatieri has just proven over the long haul that I think he's had a better career than Justin Tucker has.
And one way he's proven that is Adam Vinatieri is also the NFL leader of all time in points.
That's what I said.
Oh, I did. You did say that?
I did say that.
Okay. Well, yeah. Leader all time in points. It's one thing kickers obviously get more because, they kick field goals and extra points. So they always score points.
Well, he's also had a career of over 20. He's like 22 seasons now.
Yeah.
And that is ridiculous.
And the people behind him on the list are both also arguably one of the best kickers of all time, Morton Anderson and Gary Anderson.
The Andersons.
One has an E, the one has an O. So
that's the difference.
That's the only difference. Not related.
But best kicker of all time, Adam Vinatieri. You're the GOAT. And I can't wait till he's in the Hall of Fame. Punters. Hey, punters are people too. People, you gotta remember that they make plays for a team. A good punter is really important for a team, especially when they have when they need to really help their defense out and pin a team deep. In my opinion, the best punter of all time is Shane Lechler. Big time guy. I think played a little bit for the Raiders. I think he might be most popular with the Houston Texans. But he has up there for the most punts inside the 20, one of the least amount of touchbacks. He has I think one of the highest average punt distances of all time, and he's just a damn good punter.
Definitely. I'm also making mine Shane Lechler. We didn't make it top 3. We just made it top 1 for this one.
Not as many people.
Yeah. I would have put Ray Guy maybe as my alternate first.
Raider fans, stay mad. Fuck you guys. Broncos about to take your playoff hopes away on Sunday.
Again, unless you follow us.
And Blake, fuck yourself, buddy.
Yeah, but Shane Lechler.
Can't wait to have you back on the show.
Shane Lechler was an amazing punter. You hate it. That's one thing is I think you hated seeing him come onto the field because you knew even if you had the team in bad field position,
dog shit field position.
You're like, oh my great stop by our defense, and then he just punts it to the one. I'm surprised he didn't just punt it one time and it just landed directly point first at the one standing up.
That'd be amazing. Best return specialist of all time, I think it's undoubtedly Devin Hester.
Yeah.
It was so much fun watching Devin Hester when he was still playing, dude. That guy, he's definitely, I think he'd be a top 3 best player of all time to ever be on the Bears.
Yeah, I think honestly, if he would have spent more time working on being an actual receiver, I think he could have made a receivers list.
Shit, he was just.
I think he focused so much on being a kick returner,
man.
He did what he needed to do.
But Devin Hester, 16 receiving touchdowns, so he can still play as a receiver, but he had 20 return touchdowns, and he had 11,000 return yards on his career, and that is damn good.
Some receivers don't have that many yards receiving.
Right? But he was dual threat, and he was the shiftiest motherfucker returning punts and kicks.
You hated punting to him. You don't punt to him.
You don't punt to him. And your best hope was to try to kick a kickoff through the end zone, which was hard to do back then because they're still on the 30, not the 35.
And kick it out of bounds and just give them the penalty.
Just take the 40.
Just take the 40.
Devin Hester was something else. I really wish he was still in the league because prime Devin Hester was probably one of the funnest players of all time to watch.
Yeah, didn't he return the opening kickoff?
I forget which Super Bowl, but that was when it was Bears and Colts. That was when Peyton Manning ended up winning his first Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But he took that opening kickoff to the house.
You can never say that Devin Hester didn't try his ass off to win that Super Bowl for the Bears.
Right? Imagine if the Bears still had him. They'd be able to play him as a receiver. Maybe make plays for Mitch somehow. Yeah. Miracle. But last spot in the our best positions and best players of all time. Our last spot on the list is for best coach of all time. And to me, there's big guys up there. You have guys like Tom Landry. You have Vince Lombardi, the name that the Super Bowl is named after. But I think over the years and over the time, he's proven to be the best coach of all time. He has the best system of all time. Mm-hmm. One of the best scouters of all time. One of the best soundbite guys of all time, to be honest. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. One of the least versed guys on social media of all time.
And one of the best ball pumpers of all time.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, and there's no doubt in my mind that he is. 6 Super Bowls. He's the Patriots have all their success is due to Bill Belichick, or at least 60% of it. He's just so fucking good. He out-schemes everyone.
And he takes nobody players and makes them look like Hall of Famers.
He took a white guy that played lacrosse and not even football in college, and he made him one of the best guys on the team for the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. And
What
got
the-
him
how
a
the
big
shit
contract
does that
somewhere else.
happen? Right?
And then it's hard for a coach to, after someone has a good season, let a player go.
He doesn't give two shits.
He doesn't care.
He's heartless.
He will legit go to a Safeway, see somebody catch a box of cereal falling off a shelf, and you'll be a Hall of Famer in the next 10 years.
I wish we were exaggerated.
I really wish we were. But he literally takes nobodies, and to have the 32nd pick or the pick in the 30s pretty much almost every season. It's
have the best dynasty of all time.
Yeah, I hope you know they do that. Like, for those who don't know, if you win the Super Bowl or the farther you get in the playoffs and the better your record is, the later you get a pick. And so later you get a pick, usually talent is down. Obviously, there's still gems you find, and there's still good players. I'm not saying anything bad about being drafted later in the first round.
Lamar
or any
Jackson's
point.
32.
Exactly. For that, you can, the 32nd pick is supposed to be the worst of the best talent in the first round.
And this guy still makes him into a superstar.
He makes him into a
need them
superstar.
either.
He hasn't had a running back in I don't know how many years. It's been a while since he just had one dominant running back.
It's not Danny Whitehead making plays.
Yeah, he had a running back by committee. And you know how many running backs hate doing that on other teams? People don't complain as a Patriots running back. If they all have 500 yards this season, they're like, we had 1,500 yards this season.
You can't complain as a Patriot, otherwise Bill Belichick just kick you off, and then as a player, you never going to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
You got to be on the Patriots to win one. That's
Yeah.
what it fucking seems like. Jalen, you had a close second.
Yeah. My close second, you know what I'm saying? You know, his record didn't show for it, and his scheme didn't show for it.
Or any of his head coaching skills didn't show for it.
Yeah, but he was great. You know, rest in peace, first of all, before I say
First off, rest in
yeah.
RIP.
But, you know what I'm saying? He was who we thought he was. Danny Green. I know, he just...
That's top 2 sound bites of all time, maybe besides playoffs.
Or, I'm a man. Come at me.
That's Nick Saban, right?
No, it was not Nick Saban. It was some Oklahoma State coach.
That's right. Oh.
I forget his name.
Yeah, do with the mullet. Legend.
Yeah, legend.
But Bill Belichick, greatest coach of all time. But that wraps
and
up
Bill Belichick was who we thought he was. Shout out Danny Green. Rest in peace.
our RIP. That is our top 3 players from every offensive and defensive position, our top player from every special teams position, and our top coach of all time. If you want to catch offensive, you can go check out last week's episode. You can check out the full one, which I do recommend, or if you want, you can just watch the segmented version of where we just get the segment where we're just talking about our top players and not the rest of the show. Easier to watch, but just watch it because you're going to want to listen to who we have up there. But that's going to do it for us this week. One thing you guys might have noticed, if you do follow the Instagram and Twitter, which is the Twitter is at Fourth Long Radio with the capital F, capital L, and capital R. The Instagram is Fourth and Long Radio. That's with the number 4 TH and Long Radio. You might see we were at the SAP Center in good old San Jose Sunday night against a big time rivalry matchup between the San Jose Sharks and the Las Vegas Dumbfucks.
Vegas Golden Knights.
Fuck them.
Ryan
Ryan Reeves a bitch.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves kicked their ass.
Ryan Reeves, come fight me. You'll kick my ass, but
Worth it. I'll just
Worth
take your autograph. I don't need to fight you. I love you.
he could sign your autograph while kicking my ass.
He probably could. One-handed. Great game, though. Great game.
Great. It was actually a really good game. Even if the Sharks did lose 3-1, it's still a really fun game.
Really
that goal horn is loud as fuck.
Yeah, give me a slight headache. Not gonna lie.
I felt the vibrations all throughout my body.
Yeah, I got to cheer a lot. So
Hey, we all got to cheer a lot. We got to say some stupid
and
shit.
we sat like right above
Right
above us
below.
in a booth, Yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights fathers were there
for their father trip,
and the San Jose Sharks fans did not like that.
I wish I knew so I could turn around and flip them off.
Yeah,
I wouldn't because I respect them.
Yeah, they're respectable. They raised
their dads. They don't do anything.
Yeah, they didn't do
They
anything wrong.
I just want.
And they raised these men to play the game that we enjoy watching so much.
Game.
Yeah,
it was actually a really exciting game. Even though it seems like every time Malcolm Subban is in the goal, he has his best career nights against the Sharks.
Yeah, he was stopping
38
everything.
saves with 1 goal.
He looked like Fleury. He looked like Fleury out there.
Fleury's such a dickhead. No, actually, he's one of the nicest people. I just hate him because he's that good.
Yeah, if he was on the Sharks, Ross would love them.
Oh, I would. Oh, yeah, I would do a lot for that. But thank you everyone for watching. Yeah. But yeah, we were at the game, big time. First time Fourth and Long is getting out there. You might see the headbands. If you want one, we might be able to hook you up. We just need them to let us know.
Let us know. Send us
merch might be happening soon.
Yeah, merch might be happening soon. We've had a couple of requests for a couple of t-shirts, headbands, stuff like that.
You're going to want to get on it.
So if you want one, DM us, comment about it. We can also customize them to your own. Based off of, so we do have our Fourth and Long logo. We could add an American flag if you want. We could add a flag of your choice. We could add a background of your choice if you want. We could also make a flip side. So if you want our alternate logo that we have, we can also do that for you. But if you want any merch or any inquiries about our merch, just DM us, comment, just notify us that you want one, and
let us know what the fuck's up. Yeah, hey, but we're getting out there. Fourth and Long is getting out there,
and booming.
Hey. Business is booming, and we don't have. No, we do have CT, but not as bad as AB at least.
Yeah, not as bad.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been another fun show. Hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas out there, and we can't wait to talk to you. We'll have our next weekly episode after
the
we might be able to get one out before New Year's.
I mean, yeah, we might be able to get one out before New Year's.
We might be able to say hello to everyone before New Year's hits.
Just a little New Year's show. We do have a couple of shows coming up for you guys, also coming out around the same time as this show.
Yeah, we got biggest moments of the decade. We're going to have our UFC year in review. Yeah, and we're going to have our podcast year in review as well.
You know what I'm saying? And we might have a couple of other shows that we can think of that might
we will have a couple. It's just we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. We're talking about it and trying to get everything right, and then go into the new year because we're still a new channel. We've only been going since
number
August.
17.
Yeah,
the number of the GOAT, the Brocktagon, the Brocktober, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah,
God bless him. He helped the Broncos win a Super Bowl.
ASU pride.
ASU pride. Yeah, everyone follow us on social media, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams. Like and subscribe on YouTube. It means a lot to us, and you really help us out with any view or any like you want to give us.
Really. Honestly, if you're gonna comment and talk trash, go ahead. That helps us out too. We can still interact with you guys, so that helps. And honestly, just getting it out there.
Community outreach, man. Just hit us up, and we will hit you right back.
And we're loving expanding, getting able to talk to more people. The more people that follow, the more we pop up on other people's stuff. Tell us your friends about us. You know what I'm saying? Tell your family about us. And most of all, tell your grandma about us. You know?
You really want that to stick, don't you?
It's going to stick.
It's
going to be on the merch. Watch. We're going to have American Flag Tell Your Grandma About Us t-shirts. And you guys are going to want to buy them.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. We will maybe we might catch you guys by New Year's, but if not, have a great New Year's, and we will catch you guys in the next one.